Ready one, Ulysses. There it is.
Hello BookTube, I'm Sean the Book Maniac. Welcome back to my channel. Here I am with another Friday Reads. I was really hoping to film outside today. It was a sunny day, or warm, but it was so windy, and I've realized by trial and error and figured out that when it's really windy, that the wind causes such a disturbance in my microphone that it's just not worth it. So I actually did go out this morning and try to film my Bale wrap-up, but no, it was just impossible. Anybody have any microphone advice about filming outdoors in a windy environment? I don't think there is a solution, because even when I hear TV reporters outside in the wind, it's a problem. Anyway, I had some audio problems with the microphone. It's not a portable microphone. I mean, it's heavy and it's big. So when I take it outdoors in my briefcase, I guess what happened after last weekend was that the settings all got jiggled around, and so it really wasn't. Actually, I think the bass cord got unplugged, because I think that what you were hearing in my videos this week was just the audio, the microphone on the iPad, and it was not loud enough. So I believe it's all working fine. It worked fine on my Bale video that I shot this morning, so let me know if there's any other problems, but I think we're back in business. This is my first newly revamped and expanded Friday Read, so I'm going to tell you about books I've started. I'm going to do a little digression on audiobooks, then I'm going to tell you about books I've finished, and then I'm going to tell you about my Bales. Are you ready? So first, I have started 3 new books this week. The first is a book of short stories from a Kuwaiti author. The book is called The Hidden Light of Objects, and the author is a woman named Mai Al-Nakib. This book was published in 2015, and she wrote it in English. There's no translator. She is a professor of post-colonial studies and English literature at I think it's called the University of Kuwait, but a Kuwaiti university anyway. I'm enjoying the stories. The first couple pages just knocked my socks off, but I'm less impressed now. But I think the prose is a little bit overwritten, but I'm still quite enjoying it. The first story is about a Kuwaiti family living in Japan, so that was pretty interesting. The second one is, I'm not going to talk at all about this because there will be a vlog coming, maybe next week sometime, because I'm doing this novel as a buddy read, as a vlog buddy read, with 2 wonderful young guys, Chris of Chris Bookish Cauldron, and a subscriber and frequent commenter all over BookTube, Wilson Shugart, who I think will be using this as a launch pad for his own channel. The Sea by Iris Murdoch. Not going to say a thing about it. Stay tuned. I'm about 27% of the way through. And on audio, a 1974 novel called Oreo by the African-American writer Fran Ross. It was her only novel, and I think I can't remember where I first heard about it, but I was reminded of it somehow through Leah of Hide and Seek, comment she left on somebody else's channel or something, or she put it on her TBR and I saw it on Goodreads, but it kind of reminded me that I had it bookmarked on Scribd, so I started the audio, and I didn't actually think to check who the audio narrator is, but I believe it's Robin Miles. Wonderfully audio narrated, and I'm just 2 chapters in. It's very satirical, and it's about a interracial marriage between a Jewish man and an African-American woman. I'm having trouble keeping all the characters straight, but I do have an e-text copy that I'm kind of following along and checking with, because there's a lot of family members and it's hard to keep them all straight. But the narration is wonderful. The story is really satirical. It may end up being a bit much for me, but it certainly is funny. So that's going fairly well. So let me use that as a segue, because I want to pause before I get to the books that I finished or bailed on. I want to talk about why audiobooks are absolutely wonderful. So Oreo, the narration is just masterful, and there are Jewish American characters and African American characters, and all of the slang and imported, foreign words that go with, especially on the Jewish American side, but certainly colloquialisms and whatnot, and Robin Miles has done an amazing job. So I'm going to play you it's a secret, don't tell, but I'm going to play you, rather than me read it to you, I'm going to play you from my audiobook. And Well, that was a bad idea. I got caught trying to post a video with the excerpts from the audiobooks. Actually, they didn't flag this one from Oreo, but they flagged the Naxos audiobook of the Anthony Trollope, so I was not allowed to post the video with that excerpt in it. So I got caught. That's a lesson for me. I'm not in any trouble, apparently. I just can't post the video with that copyrighted material. Should have known better. Hey, I've seen other people get away with it, but I'm not going to try, so I've removed both. I'm just going to leave the text that I've put up. I'm not going to try to narrate it because that was the whole point, to show you how wonderfully the audio narrators did it, and I couldn't possibly emulate them. So you're just going to get some silent text here, which I'll leave in, and and thank you, and sorry. So, yeah. And similarly, Steve Donahue jokingly, I believe it was jokingly, asked me to read from the Anthony Trollope novel that he's leading us all in a read-along with, Can You Forgive Her? Anthony Trollope's 1865 novel, I think I'm right. Because he said I read so well. Thank you, Steve, but I'm going to do much better than that. There's several versions of the audiobook, but the one that I'm listening to, it's 35 hours long, is narrated by David Shaw Parker, and he's, I believe, a Shakespearean actor. And he does all of the voices, especially the women's voices, just incredibly. It's just a delight to listen to. So, as I said last week, I'm doing this as an audio-text combo. I'm not... occasionally when I walk, I listen to it while walking, but mostly I sit at home and I read the Kindle version while listening, and it just makes it such a lush reading experience. So, Steve, no, I'm not going to read Anthony Trollope to you, or not today. I am going to play David Shaw Parker reading the introduction to one of the most marvelously comic characters that I've encountered so far in the novel, which is the Duchess of St. Bungay. And here she is speaking to Lady Glencora, who is a distant cousin and confidant of the main character, Alice Vavasor. So Alice is visiting Lady Glencora and her new husband, Mr. Palliser, at their estate, and the Duchess of St. Bungay is also a guest. The first speaker here is Lady Glencora, who notices the Duchess and speaks to her, and then we get to hear the marvelous way that the Duchess speaks. Please enjoy this. Isn't that fantastic? So, that's why I love audiobooks. If you have watched, or if you're going to watch my March Bale wrap-up, you'll see that the flip side of that is that an audio narrator can also really lead me astray. But, boy, it can really enhance the experience. So I just love this audio version of Can You Forgive Her? Alright, moving on. Books I finished. I finished one book since I talked to you last Friday, and that is the Barbara Pym novel, No Fond Return of Love, published in 1961. I have a full review. If you're interested, please check it out, but I enjoyed it very much. This was a buddy read with Ange of Beyond the Pages, another highly successful buddy read. I must say that I've been having some really deep and fantastic buddy read experiences recently, so much so that I may just buddy read my way right through to the end of the year, and because it really is a way of intensifying the experience. Between wonderful audiobook narrators and wonderful buddy read partners, I'm just having a whale of a good time. I won't say much more about the Barbara Pym novel. It was a crazy madcap plot that had a delicious dark side to it that was really quite sobering, and marked a fork in the road in terms of Barbara Pym's own literary career, where the autobiographical and the fictional bled into one another in a way that was really compelling for me. So if you're interested in more, my review went up yesterday. And now I'm going to tell you about my bales. Are you sitting down? Have you got a drink in your hand? Are you ready? I haven't bailed on anything this week. In terms of a short-range TBR, I'm really pumped to begin another buddy read next week, Monday maybe, of a Mary Stewart novel, Thorny Hold, and I invited myself to Ange's buddy read of this, Ange of Beyond the Pages. I read Mary Stewart novels when I was a teenage girl, and I loved them. And I had kind of forgotten all about her until she died a couple of years ago, and she died when she was about 97 or something. And then suddenly, two people have been reading her and enjoying her so much. So this is a short little, maybe 200-page novel. Don't know anything about it. It was dirt cheap on Kindle, so that's why I invited myself. And lo and behold, half of the pantheon of BookTube royalty are taking part. So I am going to try to behave myself, and very excited about that. So I'll have more to say about that, because may well be finished that novel by next week as well. Alright, that's all I have for now. And how about you? What are you doing reading-wise or otherwise? Thanks for watching.